cases to serial killers, missing persons, and more.
100% he did this.
I'd go off into fantasy world.
How much more lucky can you get that you're not on death row?
You want to know what we know?
My name is Jay. This is Guilty of Crime.
Hello, everybody. We're back. It's Jay with Guilty of Crime. I appreciate everybody for waiting for me. I had a few technical difficulties this morning, and I want to say hi to everybody. Today, we're talking about STEPHAN STERNS. Spoiler alert, death penalty is coming for you, sir. And hopefully there's an arrest coming for Jennifer Soto real soon. All right. So I want to welcome in everybody. Sharon, I have a new member. Sharon Belko, thank you so much. I appreciate you. James Goldsmith, new member. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You'll love it here. I promise. We'll try to keep you nice and safe. And we try to keep a community where your opinions matter, even if they don't align with mine. We still can talk about it. Hey, it's Jay. What's going on? And hi, and then Sharon says, "Hi, Jay. I hope you never ever feel the need to apologize for being you. Your success has no things to do with your sexuality, but your soul." I appreciate you. I appreciate every one of you. I'm a visual person too. And you say, please screenshot Venmo. I'd be happy to help with putting up my Cash App and Venmo. It's J-Scott. Now, everything that you do for me, only do it if you can. I appreciate it so very much. All the help is help, liking, subscribing, all that. Democracy, not fascism. And I'm waiting for people to roll in because I want to, we're going to get to it. We're going to hit it, and then be done. That's it. We're going to get to the news and then be done. So I didn't want people to come in and say, what did I miss? So thank you to everybody. Yes, STEPHAN STERNS is pure evil, and I believe Jennifer Soto is as well. Okay? She gets no passes here, none whatsoever. Pure evil, Joyce Batista, predator, a damn sociopath. Kim, hello, everybody. All right. Yeah, there's a Guadalupe Soldado. I cannot stand that face. It stresses me from disgust. I hope we're talking about STEPHAN STERNS. Welcome here. Welcome, everybody. Nets World, what's up? Anna, what's up? We got some big things coming up today, later on today, tomorrow, and forever, as long as I can stay on here and be safe. Lately, there's been some things going on, not the time to talk about. Please like and subscribe right now, folks. I have a few friends that are lawyer friends, and this has nothing to do with freedom of speech. But you guys can email me, Guilty of Crime by Jay. Welcome, Trina. Hey, Melly Michelle. Kim Princess. All right. Let's say request, explore relationship, bet Yolanda Zebrano and Jen. Tight-lipped lady, smart, but seem to have an interesting relationship with the daughter. I agree. I think the family dynamic was not right in that household as her growing up. And I have a lot of theories about that, and I hope that we can find out soon. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Joyce. Please email me, folks. If you know any lawyers that represent people that, let's say, just need help on YouTube, maybe somebody threatening them, maybe somebody, defamation, like serious stuff, not like just, oh, you're talking about me, like serious things and serious accusations. And just, if you know anybody, email me, let me know, because I feel this coming. The more people I have on here, the bigger platform I get, the more threats I get. Now, I don't threaten anybody. All I say is I will intelligently respond and leave it at that. And then I will get a lawyer and lawyer up. Okay, folks? So MFAR, what's going on? Jen covered for SS. All right, let's go. We have 110 people in here, and I think we're ready to run the show. STEPHAN STERNS. We know the trial was moved out to August. Mark my words, I don't think that's going to happen in August. Should we give him castration? Should we do life without parole? Or should he get the death penalty? Trial's coming. I have things for you. We have a big show, and we have lots and lots of stuff later on. Bougie Cougar. Thank you. I appreciate that. I take pride in them. And they're actually real, by the way. They're no tattooed stuff. I do have tattoos, but yeah, none of that's fake. So thank you, Dawn, Grandma of 3. I love you, Jackie. Love it here, Gina, Davey. I wonder if they'll be able to claim death penalty. Let's talk. Let claim. All right, now we're gonna talk about him not showing up, and Joyce, we're gonna talk about him being not allowed to show up because we don't want him seeing those pictures again, right? Right. We don't want him to relive that, do we? No. All right, let's start with the first clip I have, and then we're going to talk about all of this. You may or may not have seen this, but we're going to watch it together now. Sorry, guys. I know you heard the audio, and I'm a little bit off today. A lot going on. We'll start it over. You heard the voice of this beautiful lady on Court TV.
Accused of murdering Madeline Soto in court on Monday. He had a court date, but he waived his arraignment. So we didn't see him this morning. We're shining a spotlight on Stearns, the allegations against Stearns, and of course, Madeline Soto, the victim in all this. So he's accused of murdering the 13-year-old child who was the daughter of his girlfriend, Jennifer Soto. He's also accused of sexually abusing her as well. He's facing over 60 sex crime charges pertaining to Madeline. Madeline disappeared on February 26th. Her body found on March the 1st, and authorities believe that Soto was already dead when Stearns did television interviews like this one with local station WFTV. Take a look.
I dropped her off. Everything looked fine when I drove away. It's the last time we saw her.
What were the conversations that y'all had in the car when you dropped her off?
Not much. She was asleep for most of the way. Told her have a good day in school when she got out. I love her. I said thanks, love you too. That was it.
Prosecutors now have 45 days to decide if Stearns will face the death penalty. So let's talk about the next steps for him.
Yes, let's talk about the next steps for him. And I paused it on castration. That is a possibility. It's happened before. It wouldn't be the end all be all, but it would be very nice if they did a castration on someone like him and then gave him life in prison without parole if they did not do the death penalty. Now, we're going to talk about this after if he's going to be even allowed at his trial, because he's going to have to relive all those moments, and he's going to want to relive all those moments, folks. Joy Cowley, thank you so much. If you all are in the crime crew, please make sure you're opted in to receive gifts. You want to be in this crime crew as a member. We're going to have members only lives, secret chats coming up. All right. And Nikita is going to help me run that. We're going to get some questions together, and we're going to do all of that fun stuff together. So we got new members, we got gifted memberships, and we're talking about STEPHAN STERNS. All right, let's keep going. We have a big show today, and then later on.
I have two great guests standing by to help me do that. The state attorney in Palm Beach County, Florida, Dave Ehrenberg, is with us, and criminal defense attorney and trial advocacy professor Don Malarsig with us as well. And Don is death penalty certified. Great to have you both here. Dave, could we start with the arraignment? For anyone unfamiliar with how things go in Florida, would you talk to us, please? How common is it for someone to waive arraignment on homicide charges like this?
Well, Julie, first you have first appearance, which is where the bond is set. He's not going to get bond because of the charges here. And sometimes.
Now, remember, we're talking about two cases here before I start. I hate to pause it on you like that, but you probably already seen this. If you didn't, you can go watch it. And the law was made after he was committed. We're talking about 60 charges, but we're not talking about that right in this second. It's all kind of mixed in. We're talking about the murder charge that he's charged with now and the death penalty. So all of the above we can talk about, but that's not what we're talking about right now. Nicole, you are a new member. Thank you. And I appreciate you. Great haircut. Love it. All right.
Sometimes they won't show up for the first appearance. They'll say, no, I'm not showing up. And then they'll reset it. And then he won't show up again. And then they'll just send it downtown. And it just prolongs the inevitable. And then for arraignment, the lawyer can issue a plea on his behalf. But now this case is going to be treated with the maximum seriousness by the state attorney's office there. This is as serious as it gets. Not only do you have a murder, but you also have child sexual abuse. And so the real question is whether they'll seek the death penalty. But spoiler alert, they're going to seek the death penalty here. I just can't fathom that in a case like this, that this one gets a pass. It's not going to.
Right. I wanted to ask you about that, Dave. I think we're...
Did you miss something, Davey? Yeah, he was absolutely charged. He was not only charged with the SA charges, but he was recently charged with murder all in the same day. He was supposed to have a hearing for that, and then they dropped the charges on him, and they said the investigation is not over in the death of Madeline Soto. They are still looking at others, and they haven't ruled anybody out. So this is what we're talking about right now, are the murder charges and not the other ones. We can mix all of them together because he did all of it to Madeline Soto. And hey, it's Jay. It's Jay here.
All kind of just waiting for the other shoe to drop. And going back, I want to make sure we're not using the incorrect language here. So it seems this probably was a first appearance for him, that he decided either to waive that first appearance. Is it possible to waive that? Or do you think this could be that he just didn't want to show up for court and refuse transport?
Yeah, so at least in Palm Beach County, I'm sure it's the same where he is, that the jail is attached to the first appearance courthouse. And so they bring him in from the jail, and sometimes the inmate says, no, I'm not going. And so, okay, so you go to the court and say that he's not showing up. So they reset it for a couple days later. And then if that happens again, then they just send the case downtown. They issue a no bond here. And then he just sits in jail waiting for the case to go to arraignment. And then he'll eventually go to trial.
So it sounds like that may have been what happened. We didn't get a lot of information, but all of this context from you really helps immensely, Dave. Thank you. Don Malarczyk, I want to bring you in on what this guy's potentially facing, and that is potentially the death penalty, as we know. Talk to me here about some of the concerns his lawyers are having right now and the things that they're doing kind of behind the scenes.
Well, the concerns are obviously that the state's going to seek the death penalty. And there's really a sense of helplessness with the defense attorneys because there's not a whole lot you can do. You don't really have a whole lot of input traditionally because you haven't gathered your mitigation. So what you're trying to do as a defense attorney is, number one, you're looking for co-counsel, competent, qualified co-counsel to help you through this death penalty case. You're also putting together your team. That team involves a private investigator, a mitigation specialist, someone who's familiar with mental health, someone who can track down records, school records, mental health records, criminal history records, employment records. You're really going back literally 3 generations to find out, are there mental health issues, substance abuse issues, issues of abuse, neglect, dependency. You're trying to find out every single thing you can about your client and his family that could possibly at some point affect a juror years from now and help that juror find a way to a life sentence.
Don, appreciate all of that. A lot of work.
Now, you heard him say, spoiler alert, they're going to go for the death penalty. And I absolutely believe they are. The only way that the death penalty is going to be off the table is if they decide to do a plea deal, which I do not see happening. You see that? I'm saying I do not see the death penalty being off the table. I do not see them having a plea deal with this monster. I don't even see it on the table at all. Jay, did you know the geek bars have zodiac signs on them? I do indeed. I have a Leo one. This one's a Sagittarius. I have almost all of the zodiac signs on them. Thank you, Chaos Bunnies. Yes, the mom needs to be in jail too. Absolutely. Giselle, hello to you. All right, so they're going to go for the death penalty on the murder charges, folks.
Involved a lot of commitment. I can't even imagine the hours that you put in on these cases. I have a clip here I want to play for you both. This is again from a local station in Orlando, WFTV. And here they're interviewing Jennifer Soto, Stephan Stern's girlfriend, Madeline Soto's mother. Let's watch.
What was the last thing, I guess, the conversation that you two had with your daughter?
We spoke about her birthday party. She had a birthday party on Sunday. She had a great time. I couldn't make it because I was working, but she had an amazing time. She was so happy with all her gifts. I told her good night, and yeah, that was it.
Dave Ehrenberg, a lot of people watching this case around the world are wondering.
And you like how every time a clip stops, we have 222 people in chat, folks. That is our number. 111-222-323. Any triple digit number that you see is an angel number. Make a wish for Madeline Soto to get full justice. Okay? And thank you. I want to thank not only Bobby, but I want to thank Barbara, Evie, and Don Bauer. Don Bauer sent me $25. So thank you so much, Barbara. 5 and 5 from Bobby. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you all. I need that to keep my Red Bull and Starbucks going. Busy day, busy week, busy life.
If mom's going to face some charges here. Your thoughts on that, please?
Julie, it's too early to say. I mean, there are no charges for being a bad person, but when it comes to a crime, was she a principal? Does she help dispose of the body? We just don't know so many things. And based on her willingness to interview without a lawyer present, and maybe that does seem to indicate that she wasn't part of it. Of course, so did the defendant, but the defendant seems like a sociopath. I mean, the mother just seems more clueless. I mean, she's the one who took up with this horrific individual who allegedly did this. But, it's too early to say whether she would face charges. There's still time for prosecutors. But the fact that she hasn't been charged yet does tell you that it's not so easy to charge her. The evidence isn't clear yet.
Mm-hmm. Right, Dave. Don, I want to go back to you, please, on the death penalty and STEPHAN STERNS. Knowing that he's got enough.
So they did just talk about Jennifer Soto, and they said the evidence is not so clear yet. So what's happening now is they both have lawyers, and the reason it's not clear is because bits and pieces are coming out from the lawyers. They're not able to talk directly to the defendant or Jennifer Soto. And so when that happens, there has to be a deal made and only bits of information come out. I've heard about the Santa thing, and I'm not sure that is tied with it. I know there are a lot of theories. Right now, I know nothing about that being tied to the case. I do know about the Santa house, but thank you for the theories. Always appreciated and good for people to look into. Nikita, great podcast, best crew ever. So I got to go. That's okay. You can hit the rewatch crew. Yeah, these people are just speculating, though. No. This guy, they're speculating, but he's saying that this guy is a prosecutor, and he's in Florida, and he knows the law, and he's saying that on a charge like this, they're going to go for the death penalty. Of course, they're speculating because it hasn't happened. We're all speculating. My whole channel is just speculation, unless I'm doing a serial killer case where we know that they already have been convicted. So, everything's speculation. But spoiler alert, they're going to go for the death penalty, folks, unless there's a deal made, and I don't see that happening. So, all things are speculation until people are proven guilty. So, we know nothing then.
Another outstanding criminal case pending in the system, the one with the 60 child sex crimes charges pertaining to Madeline. Investigators revealed they have evidence on his cell phone of very explicit child pornographic pictures of Madeline. And knowing he's also got the homicide case pending, let's just say, for the sake of our analysis, that prosecutors do file notice to seek the death penalty. If you're one of STEPHAN STERNS' attorneys, are you trying to negotiate some type of plea agreement involving both of these cases for a very lengthy amount of time?
Yes, absolutely. In most death penalty cases, your job, your number one goal, and your sole function is to avoid a death sentence. So I would be looking at the evidence. What kind of evidence do they have that supports the child pornography charges? And obviously, those charges carry significant prison time. And if there's overwhelming evidence on his phone of recorded acts, then you have an incentive, a duty, an obligation, and a responsibility as a defense attorney to go to the government and ask for some kind of a resolution that resolves both of these matters without the death penalty and probably puts Mr. Stearns in prison for the rest of his natural life.
Don.
All right, so you heard that from me a little bit ago. You heard that from him. Yeah, we're having a conversation here, and everything's speculation until it happens. And the death penalty part with all of the evidence that they have against Stephen Stearns on all crimes, I do not think they're going to have a plea deal for him whatsoever unless something happens with him and Jennifer Soto and he decides to turn on her and something else went on that we don't know about. That's the only possible way that I see. And then his sentence is still not going to be much better than the death penalty. It's going to be still life without prison, life without parole, and then a ton of those times, however many they can do. It's not going to be a light sentence.
Larsick, thank you for all of that.
All right, so stop that, and then let's talk about, since we were talking about it earlier, let's talk about whether or not Stephen Stearns will even be allowed at his own trial. One second, let me get this. Earlier, my computer was making these weird noises, and it's doing it again. I don't know why. Hopefully you can't hear it, and hopefully I can fix it. I think it's the light, but hopefully we don't hear that again. I don't know what's going on with that. Too many cords. All right, so will Stephen Stearns be allowed at his own trial?
We're getting you details on what it would take for the state attorney's office to pursue the death penalty against Stephen Stearns. He is the man charged with the murder of 13-year-old Madeline Soto.
West 2's Megan Mulatto joins us live from our Osceola County Bureau. And Megan, you spoke with the state attorney. He says there's a lot to consider before making that decision.
Yeah, he sure does. He says there's a lot to consider here. They, of course, have to consider the extent of the crimes committed, but they also have to consider Stearns' childhood upbringing and his mental capacity. Now, Stearns was supposed to be back in court for his arraignment this afternoon. He waived his appearance, and then the event was canceled.
What the case laws and what the rules.
So listen now, if you're saying, what do I mean? What's going on? Why? This is the video we're playing right now. Will he be allowed? And we're talking about the laws here and what's happening. We haven't seen him at all except for when they arrested him and we saw his transportation. Yes, Davey, you're correct. Or will they have him leave the room? They do not want to re-traumatize any people, and they do not want the family to see him looking at the pictures and anything, any expressions, anything. They don't want that to happen. So will they allow that? Will they make him leave the room? Will he even show up? Or will he be like Adam Montgomery? Let me back up a little, because this is what we're talking about. Is he going to be able to be at his trial or in the room?
They also have to consider Stearns' childhood upbringing and his mental capacity. Now, Stearns was supposed to be back in court for his arraignment this afternoon. He waived his appearance, and then the event was canceled.
What the case laws and what the rules say is that you have 45 days from the time of the arraignment.
45 days from Stephen Stearns' arraignment date is how long the state attorney's office has to decide if they'll be pursuing the death penalty in this case. Stearns was charged with first-degree murder in the death of 13-year-old Madeline Soto last week. He's the boyfriend of Madeline's mother and is also facing 60 charges related to child sex crimes. The three lived together in Kissimmee when Madeline was first reported missing in February. Investigators say Stearns was responsible for taking her to school that day, but instead killed her and left her body in the woods. Bain says Stearns' fate is either death or life in prison, but before he decides, he has a lot to consider.
Whether it was a cruel and heinous previous crime where the victim suffered, whether it was a previous violent crime, there's different factors that go into those different statutory analysis that goes along with what we consider an aggravated factor. And when it comes to mitigating factors, it can be background of the defendant, childhood upbringing, prior trauma, different things that we may know about the defendant, mental health, mental capacity.
Stearns was supposed to appear in court for his arraignment Monday, but his appearance was waived and the event was canceled.
Stephen Stearns, case 24 CF 1293.
Now that's the arraignment we were waiting for the whole time. Nothing happened. We were trying to watch it through. Hey JB, he missed the stream. We missed it, and then Plunder caught this little small part They didn't say Stephen. They said Stephen. Doesn't matter. You call him whatever you want at this point. But this is what we missed last week. Him not showing up.
And the event was canceled.
Stephen Stearns, case 24 CF 1293.
This comes after he didn't show up for 2 other court dates in the past. We're told he's technically allowed to waive his appearance at all court dates if he chooses to.
Okay, so somebody just asked that question, how long does this man get to play games? You heard the answer. He can waive that right as long as he wants to. It's up to the judge if they're going to make him come to court or be there for the sentencing. I don't think they're going to do a plea deal, so let's not even speculate that right now. I was going to go into that and say if he was to do that, but I don't think that's going to happen at all with the evidence that they have. All right, so that's not going to happen. Hello, Sharon. Yeah, I want to keep it on track here. I thought we were talking. Hi, everybody. Hey, D. Berlin. Hey, D. Hey to Carly. Hey, everybody. Thanks, Carly and Bree, for modding. Red Wolf, what's up? Hello, crew. Likely the number of instances, abuse in the hundreds. Absolutely. And you saw that. All right. Charla Salazar, thank you. I've been seeing you here. I'm glad you're a member. Thank you. Thank you. I am Two Bear. You know, I always love you. You're amazing. And I see you in quite a bit of chats and places that I like to watch of the best YouTubers around. Matilda, Stall Tactics, The Job. Now, listen, everybody. There's going to be a bunch of stall tactics. I'm almost positive the trial for anything is not going to happen in August. We're watching the treadmill murder right now, and that man has been in prison or jail, whatever it is, since 2021. We're in 2024, and when things get sticky and you have other people that you might be looking at and all kinds of these possibilities in mental health, it takes a long time. Which leads me to say that I do not cover the Delphi case, but I'm going to cover my stance on Richard Allen. And as we know, this morning it was delayed, and that's why I'm coming to bring it today with Deception Detective collaboration at 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. All right, and I'll tell you why I think he's guilty. All right, let's go. I think they have the right man. I'm not saying he's guilty. That's the wrong thing. I think he has guilty knowledge. And I'll tell you why at 1:30 today, but that just got pushed out.
Now, despite Stearns not showing up for his arraignment today and that event being canceled, court dates were still set for his pretrial and his trial. If all goes according to plan, those are set for July 10th and July 16th. For now, we're live in our Osceola County Bureau.
Well, there's a lot of information out there right now. Terry Wilk, and they arrested him for it. They've had a press conference, and that's all we need to know. I don't have a PCA on what evidence they have, but it was very clear when the person that called in they called in the tip about him changing a tire, and it was right across the street from where the body was. We don't have that yet, so I can't tell you. I don't have it yet. All right, Word has its YouTube censoring algorithm. It has to be so complicated. Nobody knows how it works anywhere. Yeah, there's lots of censorship nowadays on things that we're trying to help people with. And then there's no censorship for people that are just doing the most ludicrous things and saying things that are absolutely out of pocket for no reason. So I don't know. All I can do is stay out of that and just only talk about these cases. So we're going to stop sharing this one, and we're going to get to the next topic, which was what I wanted to talk about. And these guys I love because they are from New York. They say it like it is. They say it how it is. And they know what they're talking about. So I have a clip from Duty Ron that talks about Stephan Stearns and should he get the death penalty? Should there be castration? Should there be life without parole? What should the consequences be? Let's see if I can get this, even though I downloaded it. There's slow internet today for some weird reason. All right, there it is. Clock is ticking. Earlier, somebody said tick tock. That's for everything. Time's running out for us all. Yes, duty Ron, folks. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock for us all.
For prosecutors in the case of the man accused of killing 13-year-old Madeline Soto.
Stephan Stearns is scheduled to be in court. Stearns has a record of not appearing in court, and it looks like that record will continue today as he just waived his appearance within the last couple of hours. Now,
you know how many females I've responded to, lifeless, dead females in their apartment with order of protections in their back pocket?
That will ever just eliminate evil from this planet.
Yeah, JB's right. We're never just gonna. Let me see if I can pull it back and go just so we can hear it. I didn't want to play his beginning and then something happened, but thanks, Duty Ron, Hey JB, all the clips that he has in there was a clip of him. I respect those. New York cop. Well, they're one of them's a detective and one of them is a forensics guy. So yes. Absolutely. I watch Duty Ron for all the real content. I don't always play him because it's a lot of them talking and doing things that I could talk about myself. But when they do a clip like this that just bam, 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 I love to use that clip. And that's what we're going to do. Let's go, folks.
How can we get this done to protect the children from these horrific? I don't think that there's any law on the land that will ever just eliminate evil from this planet.
You got to agree, right, Ed?
Will always
100%.
Will always
laws
be present.
Be broke.
It's about preventing these heinous acts as much as possible. What kind of law be introduced?
There is no laws, and no matter what, that can protect you. Listen.
Under her bill, a judge could order a physical castration for anyone convicted of a sex offense involving a child under the age of 13. The bill passed through the Senate floor on Tuesday afternoon. Barrow says it is a necessary change.
And it would change individuals' thinking as it relates. At least they'll think about it once they realize the real.
I want to say this too. I mean, I love this woman because she's tough on you with the death penalty in Florida.
Now they have a lot of people on their show. They're pretty much hard asses. I don't know what they said to you all or what happened. I don't talk to them in their comments or do anything like that at all. I just watch the content and listen for what they're saying because they have relevant content. So yeah, I don't know. You can get the members only, sign up for that. If you don't have the $2.99 a month, don't worry about it. The content's going to come to you. Some of the members only content has to be behind the paywall, not by my choice. So thank you, Emma J, for subscribing. They just banned me, triggered what? Interesting. All right. Carrie Ann Sheffield, hello. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think they don't. Sometimes I've seen them do that where they'll ban somebody and they don't know how to undo it. They're not really tech guys at all, but it could have been just a word that triggered them. I don't know. I can't speak for them, but their content is always on point for me.
These crimes still continue to happen. He's standing possible capital murder charges here, Ed. So go ahead.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, of all the states in the United States, Florida is the worst place for this guy to be because, they're second to none in their prosecution on these types of cases.
Yeah, he's going to get fried there.
Judge has ordered that his balls be removed. My next guest demanded Sullivan be physically castrated. A man is accused and has been convicted of raping a 14-year-old, and he was sentenced to 50 years in prison. And now part of that sentence is physical castration. Many of us have heard of chemical, but when you talk about physical, exactly what does that mean?
For the case of physical castration, we're talking about a surgeon surgically removing the defendant's testicles from his body.
I'm just here to show you that the state of Louisiana takes sexual predators very, very seriously.
You expect
I think every state should do that, and I just wanted to show you that I agree with I Am Too Bear. we don't all have to agree, but I like to put ideas out there and see what you think. And I think that should be part of a sentence as well as other things. It shouldn't be the end all be all to this. So, yeah, thank you very much, Dora. And I agree. Yeah, I don't even want to. We've already used the R word and a whole bunch of other words that are on here, so it's okay. I'm sure this is, we've already. You can't do a STEPHAN STERNS case or Madeline Soto without saying some bad words for YouTube. Unfortunately, it's too bad because we're really talking about the real deal here. And I wish they'd let us talk about the real deal.
To file more charges against other people, will there be additional arrests in this case?
Well, right now is an open, ongoing investigation.
State attorney will have to make a big decision.
That decision is life or death. After the hearing that's happening, they'll have 45 days to decide whether or not they want to go after the death penalty for STEPHAN STERNS.
I'm in Kuala Lumpur right now, right? And over in here in Southeast Asia, they have child trafficking issues like you would not. In fact, I went to dinner tonight with a couple of child trafficking police officers investigating these terrible, horrific crimes involving pedophilia and child trafficking. It's unbelievable in this part of the world, right? You're talking, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand, and it's crazy how many Americans come over here and commit crazy crimes with children. But thank God now we have new laws now that allow us to prosecute these animals back in the United States for crimes they commit here in these farms.
We need to be our first line of defense, and that's a fact. There's no way of getting around it.
100%.
We want to thank the diligent work of the state's attorney's office, the medical examiner's office, and our other law enforcement partners who assisted with this investigation. Your expertise and dedication were instrumental in uncovering the truth. Fred, I'm going to defer to the state's attorney.
Let's talk about the new information that we've learned that Maddie's body was dumped before she was even reported missing.
Although an indictment has been returned this afternoon, it is still an open and ongoing criminal investigation. So much of this information cannot be disclosed until Mr. Stern's attorney, if he does so, elects to participate in discovery. And then all of you in the media know how to go about seeking information through public records.
Was there anyone else in the house who figured out that?
Not that we've uncovered.
Now, I also reached out to Maddie's mother, Jen. The phone number I have for her, though, has since been disconnected. So our newscast, I spoke with Maddie Soto's aunt, Stephanie Soto. She tells me the family was told about STEPHAN STERNS' murder charge just a few hours before it was publicly announced.
Isn't that interesting that they told the family about that just before it was announced? You think Jennifer Soto didn't already know? I don't think anybody's going to say no in these comments. That's very interesting. And yeah, Emma says that before I even said that. Very, very. And we hardly hear anything from that side of the family at all. So Jennifer Soto hasn't said anything. Stephanie was one of the people that made the 911 calls. Thank you, Stephanie. Biddy Blah. Let's get it to we have 293 people here. If you can just hit that like button, then we can get more content. We can get more people reaching out to me so we can do more interviews. The interviews aren't going to stop, folks. They're really not going to stop. I'll do better. I'll do my best. I'll be as sensitive as I can, but I'm going to be me. And I don't work with the government, and I don't have a democracy over here. I make the rules. And that's how it runs. Unfortunately, for anybody that wants to make the rules, it's just not worked that way. All right. Yes, it does. I think that it did run in that family particularly as well. Davey says a phrase I heard on the Joe Rogan episode: have the courage and know about it. And if you know about it, do something about it. And that's what I plan to do. I have to do something about it, folks. I cannot sit here and not. Guilty of Crime is my channel. And if you're guilty of crime, then we're coming for you. All right, let's go.
She says this is all extremely difficult, and the hardest part is the waiting, having no real closure or answers as to why this happened. Stephanie Soto also gave us this statement. It reads in part, quote, "The Soto family continues to mourn the devastating loss of Maddie. We trust that the prosecutors and detectives are working diligently to bring justice for Maddie." We got a statement on behalf of Tyler and Tatiana Wallace. It reads, quote, "They are heartbroken by the tragic loss of their daughter. Maddie's passing has left them shattered, but their resolve for justice remains unwavering."
Stephan Stearns, should he face castration like the state of Louisiana is doing and has done since 2008?
You know, a prosecutor is not going to take the case forward if they don't believe they can win the case in court, okay, for the death. Okay, so, you know, they're waiting for more definitive probable cause, and they want to be comfortable that if they present this to a jury at a trial, they're going to win.
How long evidence would you
I'm going to have to defer to the state's attorney.
Again, any question about the facts of the case, it's going to be the same answer. Once his attorney participates in discovery, the public records laws change, and you all will be able to get a lot of that information.
All right, this is a societal issue, okay? We have to understand that we have all these laws say homicide's illegal, rape is illegal, you know, all these different crimes are illegal. But does that stop people from doing them? You can have all the laws on the books that you want. It's not going to stop people from committing crimes.
It absolutely is not going to stop people from committing crimes. They don't care. If you don't care, then you're not going to stop. I think restraining orders are absolutely ridiculous. They mean nothing. It's a piece of paper in your pocket that you waste your time for. Doesn't mean anything. Nothing happens with a restraining order until somebody gets killed. And then they say, oh, that person had 5 restraining orders and they called the cops 27 times. That's why I sleep personally with my 9mm Smith & Wesson, hence my dog's name Wesson. Yes, I sleep with my Smith & Wesson. I have it in a safe. Boom. All right. That's it. Done. I don't play around. I'm not doing restraining orders. I don't play. You come at me. That's what happens. Hey, I'm not in Texas. I'm in California, but we don't play around here in my town. There's home invasions around here, and we're not going to let that happen. So restraining orders mean nothing, and the laws mean nothing to criminals. Laws are laughable. I agree with these guys.
And as you say at the end of every one of our shows, stay safe, stay prepared, and watch your six. Like that,
watch your six.
That comes right into play, not just for law enforcement. It comes into play for everybody. Ed's not saying that for us, for just cops and retired cops. He's saying that for all of us. And we have some things that get in the way. Madeline Soto is a minor, right? So there's some laws in regards to releasing information as it pertains to her. But the police and the investigators that are on this case, they gather up their evidence and they present it to the district attorneys that are charging this case, getting to the bottom of Stephan Stearns. This is exactly how he murdered her. So that's the thing.
It's not just Stephan Stearns, okay? I mean, they have to look at the mother, okay? They have to see what her involvement in this is, okay? So, I mean, there's a lot of dots and a lot of I's that need to be dotted, a lot of T's that need to be crossed. Of course. And, you know, they're working in the background, and we as in the public, we don't know exactly all that they're doing, but rest assured, they are.
And that's why I want him to say that, because Ed Wallitz is a retired NYPD, but he also is into forensics. And I love when he talks about forensic because he gives us the right answer. Duty Ron is a retired New York PD detective, and they just know the laws, whether you like them or whether you don't. They know the laws. They know it takes a long time. They know the real deal. If you like the real deal, you don't like them, it doesn't really matter. It's just about the facts and about the truths, especially if parent buddies up with their significant other. It doesn't make sense. Laws give them something to be competitive about, want to see themselves win, like Stephan is discussing. Absolutely. Down in the basement, characters, right? Yeah, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jen cannot be that blind. She has to have said something. Yeah, we're beyond that, Nets World. Thank you very much for the comment, but we're way past her being blind. She needs to be charged at this point immediately. Yeah, they're from the city. They're rough cops, rough ex-cops, excuse me. And I believe the police can't act unless evidence of a crime. We need investigation before. Somehow child services is negligent. There's a lot of corruption going on, and we have to do something about it if we want it to change. Us doing nothing doesn't change anything. So we got to do something, guys, people, ladies.
Of working this case.
Maybe, just maybe, and we're not saying this is for sure, but maybe we could be seeing somewhere down the line, and it could be, look, the pretrial is not until July. They pushed that back for a reason, Ed. Now, I'm just thinking a little bit outside the box here. I could, be completely wrong with this, but maybe they needed more time to fully investigate. And between now and July, and potentially August, they could drop that bomb. They could drop that bombshell.
100%. They got him dead to rights on all these child sex molestation charges. All right, he's not getting out from underneath this. Okay, yeah. And now they're looking at The
reason I'm going to answer this, Melly Michelle, is because she lied to the cops. At the very least, I'm saying I believe she did more. At the very least, she lied to the cops. She obstructed justice by messing with their evidence and the time frame. She didn't tell them what she knew. She told the story. And at the end of this, we're going to play that video I'm going to play the video for you so you can watch one. There's multiple videos of it, but I want to play the one that Deception Detective didn't do so that he can analyze that one. I'm sure he got 50,000 likes by now. And yeah, Davy Jones says, I think they are. She did commit a crime, and if at the very least, it is her lying to the cops and not telling them the timeline, which didn't help get to Maddie faster. She is an accessory after the fact at the very least. Thank you very much, Davy Jones. Yeah, absolutely. And if they don't, that means that they're going to use her as a witness and give her immunity like they did with Kayla Montgomery. They still gave Kayla a bit of a sentence, not much, but trust me, when she gets out of jail, if she gets out of jail, people will be coming after her and she'll have to change her identity. All right, let's finish this so we can get to the next thing.
They should be looking at the mom and seeing what her involvement is and whether they can clear her of any wrongdoing or whether she participated in some way, shape, or form.
Our detectives have worked tirelessly to piece together the events leading up to Madeline's disappearance, and with the collaboration of the state's attorney's office, we prepared the case for the grand jury that was heard today. The grand jury determined that our department secured enough evidence to obtain a first-degree murder indictment. We appreciate each grand jury member for their careful consideration. We want to thank the diligent work of the state's attorney's office, the medical examiner's office, and our other law enforcement partners who assisted with this investigation. Your expertise and dedication were instrumental in uncovering the truth.
So he is just using caution here, but ladies and gentlemen, they have more than enough if they want to proceed with the capital murder charge, capital punishment against STEPHAN STERNS. They have it here. I'm just going to reassure you. They have it here without this murder first degree charge, and they now have a double whammy on this guy. So hallelujah, and let the wheels of justice spin and let justice be served for this poor, poor young 13-year-old soul.
I don't want to get doxxed for that music either. There it is right there. All right. So it says STEPHAN STERNS is slated to be arraigned April 29th. Let's pass for the charge of first degree murder. All right. Davey, earlier, I think you hadn't realized that he was charged with that. That was one big day. Sadie's mama, I'm glad you're here. You didn't know that I was live. I put it out there yesterday. I'll be back at 1:30 today, Pacific Standard Time, and I am going to do a collaboration with Deception Detective and give you the breaking news, which you probably already know all about with Delphi, and then give you my opinion on Richard Allen. I do not do the Delphi case, nor do I know all the little details, but I do have an opinion about Richard Allen, and I do believe they have the right man. You're welcome in my chat if you believe otherwise. There are a lot of people that do believe otherwise, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. No arguing, okay? If you're thinking that Odinists are involved, or you think that if you think that the guy that died, I don't know what his name was, Ron Logan, or you think that Keegan Kline was part of it, or you think there was multiple people, that's okay. I think they have Richard Allen and they have the right man. And I'll tell you why. And we'll do Deception Detective style with his collaboration video. All right. Now we're talking about Stephen Stearns. All right. There it is. That was it. He'll be facing either life in prison without parole or, hold on. I don't know why the internet is so slow. Okay, this is not what we're doing right now. Let me get to what I wanted to get to for you. All right, let's play this clip, and then I'm going to play the video that I want the Mr. Detective to look at. All right, I want you to see in this video here how this is the clip, and I hope I have it right. All right. I hope I don't misspeak. I think this is the clip. They cut out the original one, but I have it somewhere. I want you to see Jennifer Soto consoling Stephen Stearns. And you've seen it before, but it's disgusting.
We are now confident that she is dead.
Sheriff Mina's somber announcement kicking off a new phase in the search for Madeline Soto 4 days after she disappeared. The sheriff saying video from the teenager's apartment complex makes them believe she was killed in her home before school Monday morning. Her mother's boyfriend, Stephan Stearns, seen throwing her backpack and school-issued laptop into a dumpster instead.
All right, there it is. That's what I wanted to show. I don't even know if Deception Detective saw this. We were looking for the clip. That's what I wanted to show right there. This, I mean, she's, you know, she did not see her at 8 o'clock in the morning. She absolutely did not. Jennifer Soto did not see Madeline Soto alive at 8 o'clock in the morning. There's no possibility because her stuff was dumped in the dumpster at 7:30 and her body was already, she was already passed away. Okay. So I know I got a board, one of those boards, the sound boards, and it had the chipmunk voices and all that, but it was really cheap and awful. So I bought a Nearstream, and the Nearstream is an equalizer that has much better sound. And yeah, so no chipmunk voices for now. But I mean, that's a disgusting picture. And her mom did not see her at 8 o'clock that morning alive. That's a lie. And she's consoling this man.
Her mother's boyfriend, Stephan Stearns, seen throwing her backpack and school-issued laptop into a dumpster instead of dropping her off for classes as planned. Deputies say Madeline's body was seen in Stearns' car before he drove away. The prime suspect still not cooperating with the investigation since his arrest, as he and the case transfer over to Kissimmee Police.
Right now, our top priority is recovering Madeline. We are still appealing to our community for its help in this case.
The search for Madeline continues. Deputies say Stearns' silver 2010 Lincoln sedan was seen driving down Old Hickory Tree Road, south of St. Cloud, between 1 and 2:30 Monday afternoon. They believe he had a flat tire and stopped to change it. People who saw him, his car, or captured anything on video are asked to call Crime Line.
Every piece of evidence that we receive, we're going to follow up on that. And that.
And remember, they're still doing that. Even though they had enough to charge him, they are still looking into the evidence. They're looking into Jen's statement. we're going to hear it again. I'm going to play the video that I'd like Deception Detective to analyze. I think I believe he analyzed the first one, or it might have been the second one, but I want him to see this. I'm calling you out in a good way, Deception Detective. I sent this to you. Somebody put it in the chat, and I want you to analyze this video. I believe Jen needs to be charged, and when you watch the next video, you're going to be saying that as well, and that's the whole point. I want to bring justice for Madeline Soto all the way. All right, I want all the way, and all the way would mean that Jen is charged and Stephan Sterns gets the death penalty, and he's fully prosecuted for all 60 charges of the SA. All right, that's it. And yeah, let's watch this so we get to the next
leads
one.
us to a new search area. We'll be out all weekend.
Reporting from Orange County, Florida, I'm Nick Papantonis.
All right, I thought that was important just to show you, because it's just important to go back and see and understand where we are and why things are the way they are. And yeah, I do too. DD is awesome. I'll play the clip where he asks if somebody like guilty of crime. I played that in one of my other shows, like guilty of crime would do the show with him. And hey, yes, perfect timing, Deception Detective. Here we go. This is absolutely perfect timing that you showed up to this show, because I have the interview that I want you to take a look at. And I'm sure you got more than 50,000 likes, because you get so many likes, and I love you. I have all good things to say about you. Check this out, and please analyze this if you haven't. I think this is the one you didn't do.
Jen, go ahead and tell us what's going on with Maddie.
Well, Monday morning, we took her to school. We dropped her off close to school, across the street from a church, which is it's right next to the school. She crossed the street and walked to school, what we thought walked to school. My boyfriend who drove her to school drove away at that point. It was seen on video footage that she hung out in the parking lot of the church for a few minutes and then got up and walked towards the school. But she never made it that walk and that was around 9 a.m. when she got up.
Okay, so we all know that's a lie, because she was already dead by then. So right there, you can be arrested just on that. And Deception Detective says we, and more we. Thank you, Deception Detective. Everything you say, I take to heart, and I believe you, and I trust you absolutely 110%. Later on, I'm doing the Delphi collaboration with you and the video that you did, but this is what I want you to look at and analyze.
She never made it to school after that. It's right next to the school. I don't know why she didn't make it. I don't know if something happened on her walk along the way or if she got taken, but she never made it.
And that was the last anyone seen of her or heard from her?
Yes. I went to pick her up after school, and she wasn't there. So I started driving around, maybe thinking she took a walk. Maybe she decided to walk to my mom's office, which is pretty close to the school as well. Drove around and I didn't see anything. I drove back to the school. The school was closed. I emailed one of her teachers.
Yeah, maybe she did mean she drove by with the body in the car. Maybe she meant she was in the back. Maybe she meant that was her, or she was in the back seat. Who knows? But what she's saying is an absolute lie. And we all know that now. So we know that she's part of the investigation, because they can't rule her out when she's lying and saying we. And Madeline was already passed away by then.
They confirmed that she was absent all day. At that point is when I called 911, because I realized something was truly wrong.
Have you heard from like any of her friends? Has she been active on any social media?
She hasn't been active.
And there you go again. That's one of the words in the deception deck that gets called out is the word started. And I wish I had it right here. I do have the deception deck, but DD knows this like the back of his hand. He created it. So the deception deck, one of the things that's in there is started when he used that word.
Active on social media, none of her chats, none of her games. We did contact all her friends. None of them had seen her Monday or heard from her. Yeah, there's no update.
And I have to ask this, and I know I hate doing it, but is she the type that would run away? Has this happened in the past or anything? Has she ever threatened to run away?
Never. She's never ever mentioned anything like this before. And she's not the type to want to do this. She did accidentally leave her phone on Monday, which is kind of normal for her. She's got ADHD and very forgetful.
Yeah.
So she left
What
her
else?
phone at home, so there's no way to trace her. They tried tracing her school app.
She has ADHD. She's very forgetful. What else? She's not that smart. She can't get home by herself. And it's all done. We can't find her. It's over.
Top, but that's off, so it's not pinging to anything.
Jen, what is your fear? I know you mentioned she's on games and stuff. Do you think she could have met somebody and tried to meet up with them?
She's open to us. She's open with us about, if she's got a crush with anyone. And she told us she had a crush on someone at school. And I looked at their message.
And I'm going to stop this for a second only because I'm going to go back. And yeah, she's very self-serving and she's minimizing. And the whole deck of cards from Deception Detective could be used in this interview. And I'm sure it will be. But he called out the word started. She said, we started driving. All right. So started is a whole word in itself. It's a whole card in itself. The word started only means that an action began, not that it was completed or fully developed. Liars sometimes use it to imply that something happened which may not have happened. And we're gonna reference in 2019, Jesse Smollett claimed that he was assaulted. Describing the attack, he said, I was punched. He said, I punched his ass back, and then we started tussling. It was very icy. Since Smollett only uses the word, it said tussle and started, we cannot assume it concluded or even ripened into an actual tussle. We tussled. We would have been a better word, not we started. So that's a whole word in itself, and there's a bunch of other words in here that we can pull out of this deception deck as I learn it. But the man himself will say it much better, I'm sure.
Messages, nothing was weird. I looked at all of her messages, all of her deleted messages. Nothing seemed weird. It didn't seem like she was talking to anyone. So I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like she may have been taken because this is not like her at all to just disappear and not let us know where she's going or who she's with. Yeah.
What are you getting from law enforcement? Are they actively searching for her? What happens now? Especially that she doesn't have her phone with her.
So as far as I know, they're conducting a search around the school. Behind the school, there's a Shingle Creek. There's a wooded path area that you could walk. It's a hiking path. They are going back there with their canine dogs. They've taken a piece of her clothing to see if they can trace her scent.
Could you actually imagine as a mother talking about your daughter only being missing for what now, less than 24 hours or a little bit over 24 hours and saying that they're trying to have the dogs trace her scent? Now, I don't know if they're the cadaver dogs or what, but the way she's talking about it is just absolutely like she knows already what has happened. Davey, we should take a bet on how many cards that he's going to hit. Because I think I'm going to go back after this and look at how many I can hit on. She's been selling. She has been taken. Yeah, she's selling a lot of stuff. She's selling a lot of stuff. And this is all, it's all can be made into an arrest. All right. And somebody says, she checked Maddie's phone. Yeah, she checked Maddie's phone, but not his. Pick any card. I bet Jen's on every card. I bet so too. I was going to do that. Let's keep listening.
They're also taking their own vehicles. I'm not sure what type of vehicles, but they're going into the woods to search for her. But I don't feel like.
Yeah, why would she be in the woods? Anybody know? And Rue, she spoke as she was already knew she was there because she did. And if she didn't know that, what did she think that she was? She didn't see her. I don't know. I just, there's people that are saying other things. Maybe she was sleeping, whatever, but she's still lying to the cops and she's still playing his story. But yeah, she's speaking as if she was already gone at this point.
That's going to find anything right now. We've had people all day on that trail sending us photos to see if anything there looks familiar and like her personal belongings, and nothing is hers. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure where to go from here. I'm just contacting the news to get the word out, to get some help, because I'm desperate. I'm a wreck right now.
So you think that she's been taken against her will?
I do think so, yes.
Okay, now she hits on this card as well, and JoJo says cadaver dogs. Yeah, they gone through the home and the cars for detection of disease. I know what they are. I wasn't sure if she said they were cadaver dogs or just dogs that were trying to trace her clothing to see where she was. I wasn't exactly sure, but I want to show you the explanations card in the deception deck. Now, the explanations card is perfect because she's just given us like 3 or 4. She's going to start her 4th explanation. And on this card, it says liars tend to offer explanations for why things happen, revealing their insecurity and expectation of disbelief. In contrast, honest individuals present facts straightforwardly, allowing the truth to stand on its own. If a story includes superfluous explanations, it might be a sign of deception. At this one, she's already had a few, her being in the woods, she's going to go on to another one right now. And I'll keep playing this because, I mean, this one talks about 2012. A sailor reported a Coast Guard saying we have an explosion on board. That's why we're taking it on water. I'm in about 3.5 feet of water on the bridge. The inclusion of the explanation for why the vessel was taking on the water. And then it says we have an explosion on board could raise suspicion about the authenticity of the call. Right here, this card just says it all, folks. And there's even more on it than that. It just hit on a whole bunch of things that she's doing right there. So when you're given an interview, look at these things. I'll be looking at these things. You all should be looking at these things. And we are looking at these things, Jennifer Soto.
As a mom, you know, what's your mother's intuition telling you right now?
I'm trying to hope for the best, but I'm scared for her. I want her to be okay, and I want her to be safe. I don't want her to come back harmed.
But you know she's not.
I just want her back. Whatever that means. I just want her back.
Are you getting any updates from law enforcement? I mean, yes, they're searching that small area, but have they gotten any hits on any scent or anything like that?
They haven't let me know anything. They haven't updated me since I spoke to them this morning. I've contacted them to get some information or to give them some leads, but I've heard nothing back.
And Jen, there's no way that she just being, you know, a teenager was like, maybe had a fight with you or an argument with you and was like, you know what, I'm going to go hang out at so-and-so's house and teach her a lesson, you know.
Yeah, there's so many different explanations. And Davey, I agree. They have to queue on a sample different every time, a different scent every time. If you refer to the Chris Watts case, those scent dogs were so close to that dumpster that Chris Watts threw the sheets in, and they didn't make it. The lady wasn't freaking listening. The dog was telling her to go across the street. There was a fence, and she kept the dog on the other side of that fence where the construction was up. There's construction in a dumpster, and the dog was telling her, go across the street. Go across the street. Later, Chris Watts told the cops that the sheets were in that dumpster and he had thrown some stuff away from the annihilation of his family, and the dog knew it and it was the handler that didn't listen.
Could that be a scenario?
I don't believe so. We actually haven't gotten into a fight in like a few weeks or arguments or anything like that. If anything, on Sunday, she celebrated her 13th birthday with my entire family and she had the best day. She was so happy. She showed us all her gifts.
The entire family, except for her and Stephen Stearns, that was not wanted there. And I'll leave it at that. You can just go watch my last video. I don't want to refer to anything because I don't want any more apologies. No plea for the community help. Just sitting on her ass. The reporter says weird questions, in my opinion, making too many assumptions. And I wonder if she was doing that because she was trying to get her to make up these stories. And that this was like her third interview. She did one on a Spanish station, and I think they were already looking at her and him a lot closer. And you could see him in the background cracking his knuckles and smoking his vape, which is not this vape, his marijuana. He was high out of his mind when he did the interview.
Gifts. She's just a happy girl, and she showed it on Sunday night when she went to bed. She was so happy. So, she had the best day. I just, there was no moment in that evening from when she got home from the party that she had her phone or had the laptop. She went straight to getting ready and went to bed. So I know she didn't have any conversations with anyone. She didn't make plans with anyone. I didn't see any of that.
So she spent the whole Sunday celebrating her 13th birthday. Was her 13th birthday on that Sunday, or that was just like the time you guys were celebrating?
That was the time we were celebrating. Her birthday was on Thursday, the 22nd. She just turned 13.
But that's just so heartbreaking to be celebrating her 13th birthday, and then the very next day, that's
gone.
the last you've seen of her.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you go now? Are you gonna go out there and search or look, or what is are you sticking by the phone? Are you what are you doing?
I'm staying at home, staying by the phone, hoping she just appears.
Well, because we're back in 1980 and 1991 where the phone's connected to the wall, and we have to make sure the phone rings so that we can grab the cord, and we have to run to the cord because it's connected to the wall. Is that right? Because I know I do that when I'm looking for somebody or looking for something. My dog's missing or something, right? My dog runs out of the yard and I sit next to the phone with the cord waiting for somebody to call. Oh, no, wait. No, in 2024, we don't have to sit there and wait for someone to call. We have cell phones. And there's not going to be any insanity plea for Stephan Stearns. Now, for Jen Soto, she might try to pull that because she does have a history of mental illness, but she'll play that card, and the jury and the judge will see right through it. There'll probably be a lot of delays. Yeah, like landlines, but I don't care. People have cell phones. You don't need to sit by a landline when you have a cell phone. Most people don't even have landlines anymore. So yeah, I'm talking about the old school. I'm 44 years old. The old school days where you had to sit by the phone and it was stuck on the wall in the kitchen and it had this cord and you couldn't go anywhere. Yeah, we're in 2024, people. We don't have to sit by the phone and wait. In your opinion, if Jen is guilty, why does she go on a media spree and continue to put lies out there? Grandma knows she hasn't gone on a spree. This was just in the very beginning of the whole situation, and I believe people approached her and she wasn't going to deny it, so she didn't go on a spree. And yeah, allegedly we can see right here that she's guilty of lying to the police because we know Madeline's already passed away. She hasn't been convicted, but she knows, and she lied.
I know my entire family is out looking. They've all spread a bunch of flyers. I've had people contact me that they've gone to the international airport to spread flyers, to Amtrak, to Greyhound, just any way that if someone's taken her and they're trying to take her, just to show her face, just to make sure, she's not being taken against her will.
And you mentioned ADHD. Was there anything else maybe mentally going on or that you knew of?
She does suffer from anxiety, and once upon a time she was diagnosed with autism. We had her what's the word?
Reevaluated.
Okay.
We had her
Oh, yeah, that
reevaluated,
one. We had her what's that word again? I think she was reevaluated, but we're just making stuff up here because we want to say bad things about Maddie and make it be her fault. This lady's something else.
a few months ago, actually, and they told us no, she didn't have autism, but she did have some autistic traits. She did have ADHD, some autistic traits, but not autism. So I'm not sure where to leave with that, because one doctor said she did and one doctor saying she doesn't, and I don't know. She's just in the middle, I guess.
What does that have to do with anything of finding your daughter, of her being in the middle? I don't think Madeline Soto was autistic at all, folks. And I hope the medical records come out at some point that says that. I've seen her in videos and I've seen her interact, and I've seen things that friends have said about her. And I think that's a complete, absolute lie. Just the way Sebastian Rogers' parents talk about him and how autistic he was and how he was in people's space. And I'm not saying he wasn't in people's space or diagnosed, but they make him sound like they're like the victim blaming. That's it. Done.
She does have some tendencies, but socially she's pretty great. So I'm not sure.
And with the video that you were able to see whenever your boyfriend dropped her off, where was that? Which video? Was that a surveillance camera?
It was a surveillance camera from the church, Peace Church, right next to Hunters Creek Middle School.
I agree with you, Melly Michelle. I don't think she even took her to the doctor. I'm not going to say ever, but the doctors would have picked up on the assaying. And the reason they would have is because my doctors for my kids always check their bodies. They check their bodies, areas that would be hidden. They check their bodies to make sure there's no stretch marks, there's no cuts, there's no bruising, there's no things in private areas that would not look right on a child. So that's a lie. She's lying about something there too. My children have always been checked in the places that are most concerning. That's what doctors do. And my children have Kaiser.
And do you have that video?
I don't have that. They didn't show me. They wouldn't show me. It was actually my sister was the one at location, and they were letting her know what they saw on camera.
Yes, they checked their bodies.
Any of us.
Got it.
Oh.
Okay. Jen, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Please, 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 if you have any information, contact me, contact law enforcement. Any information helps. Maddie, if you see this, please come home. Please be safe. I love you very much. If you have my Maddie, please just let her come home. We just want her home.
No, you don't. You already know she's not coming home, lady. I shouldn't even call her that. I should call her the momster that she is. Okay. I try not to interject too much. I mean, it's my show, so I have to interject. And there goes that beeping sound again. Hold on, folks. I have this weird beeping sound that keeps doing this. Hold on. Okay, it's the light. All right, so we know the light. Something's wrong with one of my lights. That's okay. Amazon's great. You could return it. Yeah, I'm going to say a couple more things here, and then I have the abatement team that is going to start ripping out the walls and getting out all the asbestos and getting rid of all the stuff in the room. So I got to talk to them. Okay, so Momster, Crackle Boys. Yeah, if you have Maddie, she knows they didn't. She knows a lot of things. She is a momster for sure. I have no doubt about it, and no doubt about it in my mind to anybody that's watching this that Jennifer Soto will be arrested and she will be held accountable. I'm not going to say that she's going to be held accountable to the degree that we're going to be happy with, because she may be used as a witness. However, in that video that we just watched, and we've watched two others, there's a Spanish channel one and then another one, she lies each time and she interjects herself with we. We is the person that was prosecuted, or he's not prosecuted yet. I'm sorry. He has been arrested for the SA and the 6 charges and the murder of Madeline Soto. So she's interjected herself with him. She's intertwined herself with him, and she's going to have to answer to the police about that. She does the fake gravelly voice that STEPHAN had when they want people to think they're crying. Exactly. Yeah, there's so many of them. There's so many things. She must ignore the signs and ran with learning shells explanation about it. Yeah. I don't even know. I'll give you your opinion that ignoring the signs is far past that. My Machini, thank you. I appreciate you. Please hit that like button, folks. Get it in the algorithm so we can have people on here who's filming this horror. I don't know, Karen Serena, what horror are you talking about? It was the WFTV that had this in Florida. She is no mother. Where's the rest? Things take time. That's why we're working it out together with each other while we're waiting. Dr. Checking Point Private, absolutely. That absolutely happens. And they want to make sure that that's not happening. What happened to Madeline Soto? Yeah, I can't sit on the fence, and I'll let other people sit on the fence and give your opinions. And I respect your opinions, but I have my own opinion, and my opinions are always very strong. So thank you, the bishop. Yeah, his case, Stephen Stern's cases are slam dunk. That was what this show was about, was the death penalty alert. They're coming for him. I don't think they're going to give him any kind of lenience or a plea deal. They have way too much information. Oh, God, who's filming the assaults? Right now, all we know is Stephen Sterns was filming the assaults. We don't even particularly know that, but he's the only one that's been arrested. So that's all we can know for now. These cases will teach us patience, and patience is a virtue, folks, whether it's in daily life or whether it's in trials for cases. Missing children, there shouldn't be too much patience. Got to be urgent about missing children. That's the only thing I want to say. KJ, if you want to opt in to receive gifts on Android, hit the join button, hit the 3 dots, hit the gift settings, turn on receive gift buttons. Thank you for sharing that. It's very similar with the iPhone. Turn it on, get a gift, gifted membership. There's a lot of stuff coming up, and we're going to do it for members only because we have lots of members and I have lots to say behind the scenes. Jay, your strong opinions what attract me to your channel don't change. Well, thank you, Melly Michelle. I'll be 45 in July, and I don't think I'm going to change. But thank you for saying that. I appreciate you. And yeah, I agree. All of that. I have a son that's 24 and a daughter that's 9, and all of that happened. So let's pray for justice for Maddie. Hit that like button. Let's get us and the crime crew in the algorithm, because I guarantee you right now we're doing justice for Maddie and we're pissing people off at the same time. I think it doesn't matter what I do, folks. I think it doesn't matter if I sit there like a bot and a drone and I say, let's have justice for Maddie, and I use my AI voice and I say exactly what everyone wants me to say. I don't think people are still going to be happy. So the only thing I can do is find justice for Maddie, help find Sebastian, and keep the awareness out there. Keep looking for Elijah Vu. Let's get Corey I already knew Corey Michelo justice, and all the other children. And thank you, Matilda. I love being wiser, though. 45 is a good age. Let's just get justice, okay? So if you like me, if you don't like me, don't come. If you like me, keep coming. Let's get in the algorithm so we can have justice and piss people off while we do it. Because no matter what I do, I'm pissing somebody off. And that's why I need a lawyer. I'm going to need a lawyer, folks. All right? Be on later on today. I'll be back at 1:30 and we'll talk about all this. And thank you, Deception Detective, for coming on today. I'm doing your video later. I love you all. Hit that like button. No one's ever going to please everyone. I agree. And I love you all. My birthday is July 25th. All right. There you go. I love you too. And on that note, I will see you at 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 3:30 Mountain Time and 4:30 Eastern Time.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?